Hi, welcome to the Buffer Zone. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the Ozoneswim system. This system is relatively new on the market, and to give you a bit of a brief history on ozone, it was more actively used for commercial applications when it first started being used for swimming pools a few decades ago, but now they've managed to shrink it down into both economically viable for a residential pool and also size-wise for a residential pool. This unit also comes with a salt chlorinator as well, so you will need chlorine with the ozone, and this system allows for that, and I'll touch on that a little bit more, but basically you've got an ozone and a chlorinator in one. Okay, so the warranty on this product is 5 years on the actual Corona, that's the ozone generator, and you've got 3 years on other parts, on all other parts on the system, but you only have 12 months on the fan, the internal fan, and the check valve. Okay, so generally we like to go through the blogs and see what people are saying about any product that we review, just so we can take into consideration what everyone is seeing. There's not a whole lot going around about this unit though. It hasn't been out for years and years and years, but it's been out long enough to generate some negative stuff, and there's not much out there. The positive stuff all seems to be linked to the manufacturer's website and Facebook page, so I guess all in all, the fact that there's nothing particularly negative about this online, it's a good start. So let's look at the pros. The pros are that this is not only a salt chlorinator but an ozonator, so you're getting the small amount of chlorine that you need as well as the ozone that will do the rest of the bacteria killing for you. So the fact that you're only needing a small amount of chlorine means it's great for sensitive skin, reduces sore eyes, it stops that icky chlorine-y feel when you get out of the pool and your skin dries up, reduces the smell, which is great as well, the smell of chlorine that is, and basically you're going to get a good long life out of the salt chlorinator as well, because the salt chlorinator only needs to be turned up slightly. It doesn't need to be up as high as a normal backyard salt chlorinator. It doesn't have an ozonator, so the cell life should be up to 15 years because you're only running at about 20 to 25% of what you would with a normal chlorinator. Okay, so let's look at the cons now. Now there's not a lot to comment on in terms of longevity of the unit. I did mention that the cell will last you a long time, which is a pro, but in terms of negativity, you've got a 5-year warranty on the Corona. That's pretty good. So I guess the cons really are going to be setup can be a little bit finicky. You're going to have to adjust the chlorine output to get it to the level that you're comfortable with that is still going to produce enough for the ozonator to work. So that could take a little bit of time to get used to. And I guess the other thing is that there's no chlorine sensor. I'll touch on that a little bit later. And there's also at the bottom, there's a little filter that you need to clean out periodically. Now that's not really a con, it's just to stop the dust getting sucked up through the Corona and into the ozone generator. But it's something that you wouldn't get with a normal salt chlorinator, a basic salt chlorinator. So something to watch out for. It's not so much a con, just something that you have to add to your routine of maintenance. Okay, let's have a quick look at what's in the box. Okay, so you get the power supply box, which internally has the Corona, which is the ozone generator, and is also a salt chlorinator power supply. You get the cell, the salt chlorinator cell. You get, this is the little filter I was talking about. It's basically just cotton wool in there, and you need to clean that out periodically or just replace the cotton wool essentially. And that attaches at the bottom, but I've just pulled it apart so you can have a look. This is the tubing here that connects the ozone generator to the actual input for the pool, and here is obviously the injection point for that, and you've got a check valve here that sort of restricts flow a bit, that makes the Venturi work to actually draw in the ozone. And of course you get a couple of plugs and screws. Okay, to summarize, basically the science behind ozone checks out. So don't want you to think, oh, you're trying some newfangled technology. A lot of pool guys are sort of anti this sort of stuff, to tell you the truth, mostly because it can be a little bit finicky, like I said, with the setup, and it can be sensitive to fluctuations of bather load and temperature of the water. So it's something to keep in mind when you're putting this in. If you're the sort of person that uses your pool every day through the summer, you have a set temperature and you sort of know what you're going to expect, then this is really a great system for you to use. Now, if you're the sort of people that turn your heater on once a week or once every 2 weeks, so your temperature is going to fluctuate in your pool, or you have lots of pool parties or after school kids come around and swim in it all the time and there's fluctuations in the chlorine demand, then this unit may not be for you. You may need to look for, if you want the benefits of an ozone, then you may need to look for the basic ozone model, but put in a chlorine and acid sensor, and that will adjust for the beta loads. So that's what this unit doesn't do. It doesn't have a chlorine sensor, so it doesn't know when it needs more chlorine or less. It's going to produce the same amount. Now on a salt chlorinator, that's okay, on a basic salt chlorinator, because you'll set it to 2 to 3 parts per million, and that will allow more or less for those fluctuations. But when you have the chlorine so low, at 0.5 to 1, to get the benefits of an ozone system, if it fluctuates, if the chlorine demand fluctuates, then that's when you can get a bit of a strife. So again, it's not really a problem with the unit, it just comes down to how you want to use your pool and how you do use it. If you're a steady user, don't have too many surprises, then this is a great, simple system. But again, if you have kids that are likely just to come around on a whim and use the pool, or you have pool parties all the time, or that sort of stuff, or you have huge fluctuations in temperature, then you may need to look for an ozone generator with a chlorine doser that will test the chlorine level and add it accordingly. Thanks for dropping past the buffer zone. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.